What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be making a simple trap beat, man. I just want to take a quick second to say thank you for all y'all who supported me on the last one. That's why I decided, man, I'm gonna drop another one back to back. So if you like this video, man, please subscribe, like, and comment down below, and tell me what other videos I should do, man. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. All right. Now, I'm going to be going a little bit more into the basics of how to do these types of beats. First thing I loaded in the track when I'm deciding to make a beat like this is I load in the labs right here from Spitfire Audio, and I went ahead and downloaded a couple more. If y'all didn't see the link to get Spitfire Audio, I'll go ahead and leave it in the description again so you can go ahead and copy it, because it is a very useful tool, y'all. But I went ahead and downloaded this guitar right here from Moonfire, and I just went ahead and loaded this #1 track right, this Moon Guitar #1, and I think it's a great sounding guitar. I'll go ahead and play that for y'all. Is audio fine on that? I think it is. Yeah, it's good. I didn't change anything in this little preset they got right here, but that's basically what I do. Is I go ahead and load it up, press the little thing, press your lab 64-bit, and then you'll be straight. Just load that in, you'll be straight on your first little instrument. The second thing I did was I went to the scales on the left that I was showing you from last video, and I got a G harmonic minor, and went ahead and dragged it into the sampler track. Now, when you're making these trap beats, you generally want to go with minor scales. Minor scales sound and give you more of the dark feeling, which is why you get like that trap kind of sound to it. Now, when you get into the piano roll by clicking this button right here, or you can right click on this, go to piano roll to get your piano roll up. But when you get started, the first thing you want to do is put this on 1/3 beat. This is what I was saying last video when I put the text in, but I forgot to say it in the actual video. This is what I meant. Go to here, click 1/3 beat, and you're basically going to be following the same steps from last video on how to get that strum sound. I really like the strum sound for making guitar melodies, and I feel like it's the best way to go when making a trap melody with the guitar. So you're basically gonna follow the same steps. You know, I'm out of breath, y'all. I'm not used to talking so much. But you want to find a note that you think sounds good. And if you're going through some of these notes and you're like, I don't really like it, feel free to go off to the left again and find a different scale that you think would sound better. But for me, I went ahead and picked this G harmonic minor because for one, I already know what it sounds like, and I think it sounds good. So I found this note G. I'm like, dang, that sounds good. So you're gonna go ahead and start making your scales, but not like this, because that's for piano. You want to make it a little offsetted for your guitar, because it makes that strum sound. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this top note up here too, just to make sure you get like that better sound. So let's go ahead and hear how this sounds. Let's go ahead. I think that top note sounded better. And you basically want to find your notes by ear, almost like find out what sounds good. You're gonna have to mess around with it a little bit, you know. I'm just going to shorten up these notes a little bit because I think it might sound a little better. And so that's basically how you create your little first little progression right here. You might be thinking like, if you're not already satisfied this, you might, man, this kind of sounds a little like dry. You can go ahead and add some extra notes in. This is, I know I said we're gonna try to keep it simple, but this is fairly simple. You can go ahead and add some extra notes in if you want. So you want to be like, and start adding in notes like that to make it sound better, but still staying in the scale. As long as you stay on these gray notes, you're bound to make a good melody. Shorten that up. Ooh, I like that right there. Okay, that sounds a little off. And so what I do usually when I know, like I know this note needs to go up, but it doesn't need to go up that much. So what you can do is on Windows, hold Alt and just drag this back about halfway through. Oops, a little more. About halfway through, and then take this, move it about halfway through again, and then just stretch out the same thing by holding Alt and moving it to the end. That's what you can do to break outside the scale, just a little, not outside the scale, but outside the little snap to grid, just to make it sound better. And that's basically your melody right there. That's basically all you need. And so I want to show you one more thing before we move on. But if you were to copy Control A, which is to select Control C, Control V, and move it back over, and then Control down arrow to pitch it down an octave, you get more of like a fuller guitar sound. But we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that for a little bit. I think if you add that in like later in the song, you'll make your beat sound a little better. But that's basically all you need for your melody right there. Let's listen to it one more time. If I didn't already mention this, y'all, 140 BPM is a good BPM to be at for trap melodies. Those higher BPMs are mainly what you want to be at. But next thing you guys are gonna need is let's just go ahead and get into the drums. I'm gonna go back to what I was showing y'all later with the pitching octave thing later, basically. I'm gonna come back to that later. First thing you want to do is get yourself a nice sounding hi-hat. I like this one right here. So what you can start off by doing is just filling each two-step, and we can expand this out right here to get the full little perspective. And then you're gonna find yourself a clap or a snare, whatever you think sounds best next to your chord progression. I think a clap would sound good. So I'm gonna go ahead and find myself a little clap. It's an interesting clap. And once again, you're just going to want to place them like this. Oops, right here and right here. I think I'm going to change that clap actually. Okay, moving into the hi-hats. Okay, so for this I like to take the snap grid off and just change it to none. And the first thing that I like to do, this is pretty simple to do. Yeah, just Control A, select them all, and just move it out. Move all the notes out so they touch each other. And then make sure that your hi-hats are on cut itself right here. And so you're still gonna get the same, but in the last video, like I was telling y'all, make sure you cut out where all the claps are at. One more right here. Right, but now what you can do is you can start to make these little hi-hat rolls, and to do that, you're gonna control, drag over it, and Alt A, and you're gonna use the time multiplier to adjust how many rolls you want. Or you can make it like this, and then you can start adding them in wherever you want, or whatever you think sounds good. And you can start pitching them lower. Taking some out where you think would be nice. Put another little hi-hat over here. I don't like how that's so loud, so we can do it in the velocity down here. Is right click and drag, and you can bring down the velocity for that. And if you're fine with this pattern right here, you can just go ahead and control drag over that, and then delete those notes, and then come back over here, and then just Control B to paste the notes over. But make sure they're on the grid. Make sure they're all lined up on the lines to make sure that they're on beat. And then you're all good for the hi-hats. One more thing that you can do, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, but if you Alt R, it'll bring this up. You're gonna click. Usually if you're just turning this on for the first time, it'll look like this, but then you turn this pattern mode off, and you can adjust the pan, velocity, and release. So you just go ahead and set that. It just adds like more bounce to your hi-hats. You can adjust it too. And that's basically all you need for your claps. For your hi-hats. Moving on to your clap. This is sometimes what I do is I'll click on the. Oops, I just clicked on something extra. I'll sometimes click on the clap. If it's not hidden hard enough, I'll go click this right here, and I'll turn the EQ up to the right a little bit, and it makes the clap sound a little bit more full. Okay, now moving on to, I'm gonna go ahead and put a kick in here for y'all too, because it's pretty common to have a kick. It's a nice kick right here. Basically, for your kick, you can go in here. To make my kick sound more full, I sometimes will go do the same thing where you find this, where there's this boost, and I'll boost that a little bit too. So when you hear it, it sounds more round and big. So I'll show you one more time just in case you missed it, even though you could rewind. But anyways, I go in here, double click that, come here under the pre-computed effects, and just boost this up a little bit. And then this is where you can kind of get more creative with your kicks. Just make a pattern that you think sounds really good. So it's a pattern that I can just go ahead and mess around with. Might be like this. That's basically what you're gonna do for your kicks. Just kind of do it by ear and figure out what you want to hear. And so for this little pattern that I made sounded good, so I kept it. And I'm just gonna keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Don't overthink stuff too much. Like, oh, this is gonna sound good enough. Just make it. If you think it sounds good, keep it pushing, man. Don't worry about all the extra stuff. You know what I mean? Now, typically after this, you can just go ahead and go into your 808. I usually like to use this 808 I got up here. Love this 808. I found that 808 from Nick Mira. Then this 808, I feel like it's one of the best 808s you can freaking have. But first thing you want to do, go in here, cut itself, and you want to go in here and turn all these down except the hold. And then you want to go into your piano roll. And for your 808s, you basically want to try to follow your kick pattern. You don't have to follow it exactly, but in order to avoid like having your kick and your 808 kind of muffle each other, it's best to kind of follow it pretty much. Here, I'll show you right now. Sometimes if I'm having trouble figuring out what notes to play for my 808, I'll go ahead and what scale did I have? I had a G. Sometimes if I'm struggling, I'll go ahead and just add the same scaling, so I know what notes to play. It'll make my job a little faster. sorry I'm not explaining it a lot on this 808. It's basically like, because it even took me a little bit of time to figure out what I wanted to do. And so you basically just want to find the notes. Try to stay on the pattern, because right here when I had that, like, them kicks them like, I'll go ahead and just play it. My freaking sound effects aren't doing it. It was like doom 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 doom. Like, I couldn't. It's gonna sound weird if I just had one note of the 808 play that, because it's gonna like sound weird. So I just put 808s there to make it sound good. And then I try to have something at the end that kind of leads it back to loop back to the beginning, so it'll sound good. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. You just have to do what you think sounds the best for 808s. And I know it's kind of like hard for me to explain it, but it's just like, take your creativity and make the best 808 pattern you can by following the kicks, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it. But that's basically what I did for my 808s. And I'm trying to figure out if I should tell you to add more, because this is a pretty simple beat right here. Now, to get them all separate, what you're gonna do is you're gonna click right here next to pattern 1 and split by channel. You can go back to the playlist mode. You can just go ahead and delete that, and it'll be all off to the side right here, so you can start actually building your song. And then you can go up here to song mode. What I did right here was I control, my bad, and then just selected these, and then you can just drag them over. You didn't know that, but basically what I'm doing is just going through now and just making the beat. Sometimes you'll take away stuff during the chorus or your verse just to like switch it up. Keep your listener on really listening to the beat. Like, it's not just like, oh, it's starting to get boring, and so you just don't change anything up. Like, you want to change stuff up to make your listener want to keep listening. And I'm gonna show you one more thing real quick. Let's see here. If you click on your guitar and then go up here next to the little arrow down and say, do like a little quick render as audio clip, and you go up here, it'll make a little audio, and you can take out this little ending. Oops. Zoom in to make sure that's still on the track. You can take out this ending by turning off this stretch and then just taking it out, and it'll just be the same, except you might want to normalize it a little bit. It's a bit loud though. And then I'm about to show you why I did that in a minute. And the reason why I went ahead and did that was so you can have switch ups. And so you click this and you say make unique, right? You can now go in here and change the pitch. Or if you wanted to, you can keep it the same all throughout, like this little beginning part, and I have it change when the beat drops. And basically, you can have something like this. right there is basically a beat right there. You can go ahead and add another verse and then finish off with the chorus again. But that is basically how you make a simple beat sound really good, in my opinion. Or just sound good. I don't know if this is really good, but just sound good. But to make it sound even better, and the last thing I'm gonna do that I'm gonna end this video. I can get a little overboard with stuff to do and be going on for a minute. So last thing, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this, is how to mix your beat. Okay, I go ahead and I add this to number 1. This is your guitar. Go ahead and add this to number 2. Go ahead and add this to number 3. Your clap. Go ahead, your kick to number 4. Your 808 number 5. Okay, that's not even right anymore. This shouldn't be on number 1 because you can go to all. You should be able to see all the audio clips. Now, for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and add all the guitar samples that we made and just put them on number 1. So now what you want to do is select a place where everything is being heard. So let's go like right here. Although we don't have the other 2 guitar melodies there, it's basically going to be the same because we're going to add the same effect is going to go to each guitar melody since we put it on this track number 1, which goes to the mixer track, which is right here. It'll pop up like this, which goes right here. So you selected this by right clicking and dragging over this. You should be straight, and then you'll put it. All you're gonna hear is this section right here, right? But what you're gonna want to do is bring down all of these. I think we only had 5 things that we sent to the mixer track. This is how I mix and master. I bring down everything, and then I go ahead and play it, but then I just bring it up slowly to the level that I want. Make sure you got your volume all the way up. Then you can go ahead and throw your effects on it. Go over here, I add an EQ, and I click this twice. And I add, I just take out the highs and the lows a little bit to get a more better sound that I like. Then I go ahead and add some reverb. Increase the decay, increase the size a little bit, not a lot. And then let me turn this off. Sometimes I will go here and I'll add the delay like I did in the last video, but I'll turn everything down. And it adds a different type of sound. The wet is what makes that sound. And you can sometimes just change the level a little bit and you'll get a different sound. And then if you have it, I will go ahead and throw some RC20 on here too. But like I said, Splice got it for $5.99 a month. So if you want to grab it, just grab it for $5.99 a month until you can own it. That's what I do, and I think it's a pretty smart investment if you don't want to pay for the whole thing, you know? the same thing for each sound that you have. So now that you have the guitar, you'll go ahead and add your hi-hats just to a level that you think is nice. And go ahead and add your clap. Now to make your 808s boom a little bit, if you don't have RC20, go ahead and add a soft clipper on here. A soft clipper will make it sound a little more bouncy. Adjust the knobs to how you think they should be, and then you can add an EQ and try to increase these little bass. I usually don't do that anymore. I personally just use RC20, but if you don't have it, you can go ahead and do these two things, and I think it'll still make your bass sound really good. But you can still do those two things and have your bass booming with both of those two things added. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little RC20 joint, do the same thing I did last video. Actually, let's see how they sound. Let's see the difference. You can do whichever one makes you think it sounds better. You can do whatever one you think sounds better. Basically how I mix and master. I might go ahead and throw a sound goodizer on here just to make it makes all your sounds you throw on the master sound a lot more full and punchy. But that is basically all how to make yourself a simple trap beat. I hope I was able to explain this as simple as I could and as best as I could. But yeah, if you guys like the video, please remember to subscribe. I be working. I'm trying to drop these videos every day. If y'all come with new videos in the comments, I will try to come with them the next day. You need something, I will try to. If I don't know how to do it, I will try to figure out how to do it so I can make sure y'all know how to do it. But thank you guys. I appreciate your support on the last video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.